Hey guys, it's Scott from Channel Zero, and I wanted to do part two of finding that really hot audience, very narrowed down niche audience that is already spending money online, especially for the fourth quarter. This is part two of that video. We're just going to look at another niche, and I'm going to do the same thing to help you learn it. I'm also going to offer a little bit of advice on how to maybe target a group that the competition's not targeting in order to get your product in front of some people. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And, I'm just looking at my hat here, and my man Joe from Indiana, he said, "What's your MBA in?" Come on, guys. That's right here. So, no, I appreciate you, Joe, and all your comments and interaction with me, man. I'm gonna help you out. That's what you get when you interact on my YouTube videos. You get some love. You get some love back. So what you sow, you reap, right? Anyhow, guys. So what I'm going to do tonight, yesterday I did we went after like a Christian market, a Christian theme, something I know a little bit about the audience, and it's always helpful when you know your audience, you know their language, you know some of the things they like, etc. So tonight I'm going to do like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, another hobby of mine, another passion of mine. I know quite a bit about it. So most people who are going to market to this demographic, this group, this niche, this subculture, they're going to come over here and they're going to type in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they're probably going to do UFC, or let's do Ultimate Fighting Championship. So they're going to start going down that type of list. That's just going to be very common, very normal. Once again, what I said do is come over here to page likes. We're going to hit the page likes, and we're going to find out what people in this subcategory, in this niche, what they might be into that might surprise us. So, NFL, car ID, that's something kind of surprising. Adult Swim, surprising. And we can go on a little bit. Jack Daniels, Patron, BJ Penn, comic book. So, this group's pretty diverse. So I might try to narrow it down even a little bit further and see what else. Now, here's something that catches my eye real quick. So this might be good. Look, so we've got Tough Mudder here, and then we've got the Spartan Race. Now, those are both those mud-type racing events. So that might be something I start with. Just an idea to play with, to try to get my jiu-jitsu gi, my jiu-jitsu shirt, my jiu-jitsu dim bag, my jiu-jitsu videos, course, school, whatever I'm going after, in front of people that all the other people selling jiu-jitsu items and shirts aren't advertising to. How can I kind of hit this at a different angle? So I might pick an audience that's into Spartan racing and the Tough Mudder. Because obviously people who follow these two things are kind of into that, especially if my product is a little bit middle of the road kind of deal, maybe like a UFC fan or a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fan or a certain fighter fan. That might be an angle that I hit it at. Now, the other way to do that, and when we talk about narrowing it down, getting a really hot, on-fire audience that really wants your product, spending money online, here's what everybody is doing, and here's what everybody is doing, and I think they're kind of wrong about it. So they come over here and they type in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and they type in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they type in Ultimate Fighting. And so they put all these people kind of in one interest group. So it's, they could either like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or like the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So that gets me a really large audience, 25 million people. So that's a mistake to me. That's not how you want to group that. That's not how you want to find that, because there's people that watch the UFC don't know anything about Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or know very little, or they're not fans, or they're not participants. They would never buy any product or shirt. So that doesn't work for me. Here's what you want to do. So you want to take kind of the bigger group and start working your way down. So what I might do is I might start with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Now I'm going to narrow the audience. So those two got me at that 25 million mark. Now I'm going to come over here and say, you know, they got to know who Royce Gracie is, because he was in the first UFC. They got to know who Rickson Gracie is, because he's arguably the greatest of all time. And then, you know, they got to know who Marcelo Garcia is, because he's one of the greatest at the moment. So now what I've done is I've taken that 25 million, I've knocked it down to 1,200,000 people. So now I want to narrow this even further. And I want to find people who know about Gracie Magazine. And it looks like that's appearing two different ways. And then Jiu-Jitsu Magazine. And I'm just going to keep adding a couple more in here. Let's watch the audience size. All right, I'm going to add the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. And I'm going to narrow it even further. And I want, all right, now look what I've done. So let's revisit this. We were at 25 million on this kind of broad audience right here. Now, instead of grouping them all together right here, now we've said they got to like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the Ultimate Fighting Championship, but also they've got to have liked or shown interest in Marcelo Garcia, Rickson Gracie, or Royce Gracie, one of the three best grapplers in the world, and some of the best legendary. Let's not get into that. And they also have had to go over to a Jiu-Jitsu magazine or the International Jiu-Jitsu Federation pages or interests, and they've got to be engaged shoppers online. So they've clicked some type of shop now button in the last week. Now I've got 330,000 people. Do you think these people like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I mean, they follow Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They follow some of the legendary fighters. They follow the magazines and the associations, and they shop online. That's how you use the narrowing down feature to really hone in on somebody who's going to be absolutely passionate and nuts about your product. That's how you find the true fans, the fanatics, and the people who's willing to spend money online on your product. I hope that helps you guys. I hope that's a blessing. Subscribe below. Come back and get some more. Tell me what you want me to do, what niche you want me to focus on, what type of topic you want me to touch. Just let me know.